How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on Black Friday 2024, and I know a lot of people are excited, and I know a lot of people want to pick up some of the newly released games, hopefully a little bit discounted. Want to go over some of my, I guess you could say, predictions, games that I think are likely to go on sale, and around the price range I expect them to go at. These are probably a lot of titles that most of you guys at least have some interest in, at least a few of these, and try to be a little bit realistic with the price ranges. I'm not expecting, like, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to be $20. I've seen generally how publishers do these things and what kind of discounts they usually offer, and I think it'll be a little bit fun to go back and look at this video after we actually get the full reveals and everything like that. Now, there are certain games that I didn't even put on this list just because I don't see them getting a sizable discount or being discounted whatsoever. One of those games does include Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6, if it goes on sale, I think it'll be $10 off for 60 bucks. I also didn't put Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on this list. Now, Bandai Namco is generally a publisher that does put their games on sale fairly quickly. Not, like, super quickly, but they're reasonable with it, and you know, if Sparking Zero wasn't as big of a game as it was, I think it would go on sale. I just don't think they need to put it on sale, but that's my 2 cents on that. For the first part of this video, I want to highlight some of these games that came out in the early portion of the year, and then we'll look at some of the super recent releases, and we'll cover those as well. So let's start off with the games that came out early this year. Stellar Blade, I think, will go on sale for around $45. I'm fairly confident with this that it'll be around $45 because Best Buy just had it as the deal of the day for $50. I mean, beating that out by $5, that sounds about right. Stellar Blade is awesome, and you should absolutely have it in your library, but it's one of those games that, much like a lot of other Sony-published titles, they hold up in price for quite a while, and Stellar Blade being well-received, being a commercial success, I don't think it's gonna go much cheaper than $45. Maybe it'll get down to $40, but that is really, like, the basement-level price that I am expecting, but $45, $40 for Stellar Blade, I think that's a slam dunk home run, and you should absolutely pick it up. Rise of the Ronin, the other Sony-published title that was from a third party. Rise of Ronin, I expect it to go down to $35. Best Buy just had this for $40 as well, so there is my high IQ thinking. I just think on that basis, it'll be another $5 off. I could see Ronin going down to $30. Ronin wasn't this juggernaut success that I feel like Stellar Blade kind of was. I could see Ronin getting down to $30, especially that it just went down to $40. $30 to $35 makes a lot of sense to me, so if you've been waiting to pick that up, I think $30 would actually be a really solid pickup. Tekken 8, I think, will go down to $25, which, you know, if you want to pick up Tekken 8, I think that's a pretty good deal, all things considered. I really enjoyed Tekken 8. I'm not a big fighting game guy, but I think it's a pretty solid game. Granblue Fantasy ReLink, I think that's going to go down to $25 on the basis that it seems like the MSRP of this game has been slashed to $40 already, so it going down to $25, I think that's a damn good deal. If you didn't pick it up, $25 for Granblue Fantasy ReLink, I think is an absolutely awesome pickup, and I would certainly give that a recommendation. I really enjoyed that game, and it's kind of wild to think that that did come out early this year. I mean, it feels so long ago with how many games have come out, but yeah, there you go with that. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I see that getting down to $30. It would be great at $25, but $30 I think is just more likely. I wouldn't be shocked by $25. So $25 to $30, let's put it in that range, $25 to $30 for Infinite Wealth. Infinite Wealth, $30 wouldn't be that surprising because it's been down to $30. We literally did a video a couple days ago talking about some of the deals available right now, and Infinite Wealth was available for $30. I don't think that's available anymore, but I could see Infinite Wealth even being one of those games that gets down to like $20 and people being like, holy F, that's an amazing deal, and really one of the standout Black Friday deals, just because at this point, like, bro, if you wanted Infinite Wealth, if you have that attachment towards Yakuza, you probably already picked it up. Why not try to get some more people to pick it up by slashing the price? And Infinite Wealth is exactly that kind of game that you slash down to $19.99, and you're gonna get all of these people buying this game just on the basis that the deal is ridiculous, not caught up up on Yakuza, and literally that game finna be chilling in the backlog for 35 years. I am not kidding. You know that's finna happen. You guys know that's going to happen. That exact scenario will play out at least 100 times. 100 different people will go through that exact scenario. Well, Infinite Wealth is gonna be so heavily discounted. People are gonna be like, oh my god, this deal's insane. They pick it up. They haven't played Yakuza Like a Dragon. They haven't played any of the Kiryu games. They just pick it up on the basis that the deal is insane. Welcome to the backlog for 5 years, mother effers. That's finna happen, and you guys know that's finna happen. But I digress. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, 25 to 30. Dragon's Dogma 2, see that going down to $40. That's held up in price quite a bit, so, you know, 40 would be nice. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, also see that going down to $40, which, you know, FF7 Rebirth, I feel like all of you guys have already picked up, but if you haven't, it's a great game, and I would strongly recommend it. It is in my contender for Game of the Year alongside Infinite Wealth. So those are the games that came out in the early portion of the year that I wanted to, you know, cover right off the top. Now let's talk about some of the more recent releases. I know all you guys finna get Star Wars Outlaws, right? Star Wars Outlaws, I see this going down to $30, $35. Ubisoft games, especially when they aren't commercial home runs, they go on sale very quickly. Look at Skull and Bones, look at Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and even the Assassin's Creed games would generally go on sale fairly quickly. Star Wars Outlaws is a game that, you know, it didn't knock it out of the park from a commercial standpoint, so I could easily see this getting down to around 30 to 35, and I don't even know if that's low enough. I think 25 would actually be the ideal spot to get this game down to, where people would be picking it up just on the basis that it's so new, and it being down to $25 would have like a little bit of sticker shock to it, be like, oh my god, I gotta get this at $25. I don't think 35 would be low enough. My personal opinion. Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrushed, 30 to 35 on that. That's a remake of Disney's Epic Mickey. I thought the $60 price tag was kind of nuts for that game, but it's a great game, but $60 for, you know, an upgraded release of a Wii game, and it is heavily upgraded. You could call it a remake, and it looks great, but, you know, I thought 60 was just a little bit pricey for that, but 30, I think you'd be cooking at that price point. Metaphor ReFantazio, don't see this getting heavily discounted, but I do see this getting down to around $50, which, I mean, this game for $70 is worth it. $50 would be very much worth it. I just think this is one of those games that the people that really did want it already picked it up, and it's one of those games that the price tag of $70 isn't gonna push you away from it, so, you know, discount it a little bit, $50, and you're getting a, you know, 80-hour JRPG. That sounds like a pretty good time to me. Silent Hill 2, see this getting discounted around $45, 40 to 45. I just remember Metal Gear Solid The Master Collection came out last year, like right before Black Friday, and that ended up going on sale for, I believe it was $35. So Silent Hill 2 has a $70 price tag, so obviously it's not going to go on sale for $35, but I would say $45, that makes a lot of sense. And you know, it's one of those games that's not like a super lengthy game, but it's a horror game and it's a remake. Like, you're not expecting a 40-hour game out of this, and if you're into horror titles, $45 could be worth it for that. Sonic X Shadow Generations, 30 to 35 on that. Pretty confident in saying that, just because if you look at how Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Superstars rolled out, it was pretty much the exact same thing. Now, it could be a little bit cheaper on the basis that Sonic X Shadow Generations was a $50 release versus Superstars and Frontiers being $60 releases, so, you know, it is possible this gets down to 25. I think 30 is probably going to be the basement price for it, but wouldn't shock me if it's down to 25. This game, by the way, is effing awesome. It's so great. Sonic Generations is already awesome, and this Shadow campaign that they added to this game is awesome. It's not super lengthy. Like, we know why they priced it at $50. Generations is a, well, 14-year-old game at this point, and the Shadow campaign isn't super lengthy. You can complete it in like 4 to 5 hours, but it's so good. If you're into platformers, it is so good, and if it gets down to $30, easy pickup from my recommendations. Dragon Age Veilguard, I do see this going down to $50. EA tends to put their games on sale fairly quickly. I don't know if Dragon Age is crushing it from a commercial standpoint, and honestly, I don't know how much impact Dragon Age doing commercially would, you know, revolve around its discounted price just 3 weeks later for Black Friday, or 4 weeks later. I just think it'll go down to $50. I think a lot of people will check it out at that discount. Yeah, it's one of the more controversial game releases of the year. I'm just here to tell you guys, it'll probably go on sale for around $50. That's what I would expect. Warhammer Space Marine 2 is the final game I'll give a shout to. I think this is going to be one of the most sought-after games for Black Friday just because this is one of those games that I think a lot of people had inherent interest in. However, that $70 price tag was the biggest factor pushing them away from it. Given that the campaign is fairly short, I feel like if they get it down to a price point that people are excited by, 40, 45, maybe even a little bit lower, like if we get this down to 35, I think we're cooking, and I think a lot of people are going to pick it up, but I see 40 being likely, 40 to 45, and I still see a lot of people picking it up. Space Marine 2 was not in my top tier games of this year, but in that secondary threshold, like the second tier games where I would throw Space Marine 2, I would throw Stellar Blade. For me, I would throw it in as a tier 2 title, you know, and that's very high recommendation, even if it's not tier 1, and again, that's my personal opinion. I think Space Marine 2 is great, it's over the top, and I saw a lot of people saying that it feels like an Xbox 360 shooter in the best way possible, and I totally agree with that. Like, it literally feels like a game that technically looks fantastic, but it's a game from a bygone era, and an era that I would say we need to bring back as far as game presentation and game style, and Space Marine 2 really exemplified that. Thought it was great, would certainly recommend it. But that'll do it for me. These are just some of my predictions, these are some of my expectations, and maybe I'm being a little bit too conservative. Like, I could see Space Marine 2, if they really want to push it, get down to 30 flat, for example. I could see Stellar Blade getting down to 35. I could see, what else we got? Dragon's Dogma 2 getting down to 30. I could see FF7 Rebirth getting down to 30. That would be, like, really pushing it, and I tend to be a little bit conservative with my expectations as far as price threshold, so that's my 2 cents on that. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.